forgot that this is how it works. Our guest today is the fantastic Brendan Ash-Mohammed. He is a G. Did I say your name correctly?
You did say my name correctly.
Okay, because I'm a white dude. I'll fuck it up, man.
No, my name is the most simple. The only thing is Muhammad.
Muhammad,
it's
yeah.
Brandon Ash-Mohammed. Like,
is there a way to fuck up Muhammad? Like,
I don't know. Like, Hodo says that I don't say it correctly. It's like Muhammad.
I know, but that's
I don't ever say it.
Okay, Brandon Ash-Mohammed. But the most important thing about this dude is him and I grew up in the same neighborhood. When I found that out, I already love funny comics, but when I loved him even more because he grew up in the same neighborhood as me, and our neighborhood is fucking crazy. It is full of all kinds of people, from like super ethnic supportive like counselors and great people who just want to see you do so good and want to put you in every program and help you out. And then it's also filled with like people who just hate you, whether you were immigrant, black, man, any kind of like interracial parents. That kind of shit was real when we grew up, and I experienced it from a basic immigrant standpoint. And I always loved that you became a comic, because I always felt like our neighborhood was so shitty for the arts.
It was really shitty for the arts.
It was.
But it was so funny.
Like, of course.
All of the people that I've met in that era were so funny. And I'm like, that's why I think that I am funny.
Of course you're funny because of where you grew up, man.
Yeah.
When I first met you, I was like, oh my God, you're a West End black gay dude. You have the sassiness. You have the attitude, the kind of I don't give a fuck. And I'm sure you deal with your own stuff internally, but on the outside, it felt like you were so hardened by the West End of Toronto that it should... Dude, I swear to fucking God, man. It was like when I met you, it was like I had met all my homies, but that I knew from growing up. Okay.
I remember when we first met. Do you remember when we first met?
No, I'm always high.
I can tell you the story of when we first met. So...
Okay.
You were hosting the Joke Box.
I don't even know.
Do you remember the Joke Box? So it was ran by Deanna Palazzo, who used to
run. Oh yeah, I love Deanna.
Who used to run the Tim Sims encouragement.
So much stuff in the city. She was a crazy.
So she ran that show, and I think British Teeth were headlining, and you were hosting. And there used to be a lotto spot.
Oh my God!
I was just like, I had just come back from New York after like a failed move to New York, and I remember I signed up. And then you called me, and then you didn't know who I was.
Did I say your name right?
You said my name right, and then I like went on stage, and I did really well. And you were like, "Yo, who is this guy?
No,
this guy's crazy. I love this guy."
I always love comedy. That's funny. You must have been really funny.
Yeah, you really loved me, and then you were like, "Yo, I gotta get you on some shows. I love you. You're so great."
Oh,
and
man.
ever since
did I know where you were from?
I don't think so.
I don't even know where you were from.
I didn't even think, but you just like instantly connected with me, and you were always like so nice and so supportive. I remember you nominated me for Tim Sims.
Did I really?
Yeah, you nominated me for
I don't remember none of this shit.
Because I remember Deanna told me that you nominated me and some other people nominated me. So then I was always just like, oh my God, like he's like you were like the first person to really like put me on in like the Toronto comedy
But
scene.
I really liked you.
Yeah,
I still to this day,
yeah.
I try not to like all your fucking posts so that you don't think I'm a maniac.
I wish you did.
I can like most of them.
Most
of them I relate with.
Does he hate me now? I love Mike.
And I'm the worst because sometimes you'll post something on my wall at 12 and I'll get the notification for it and then I'll never go back for it because I'll go to sleep and then I'll wake up like 3 days later and I'll see on my wall like Brandon has posted a link to Nelly Furtado. I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't see this. This is 3 days old, Brandon. I'm sorry. But listen, man. I listen, man. It's not that I liked you, bro. I just could feel your internal energy. On stage, you hadn't even tapped into who the fuck you were yet.
No.
You were so young as a comic.
I was like 18 or 19. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you could already feel, man, I've hosted so many shows. I'll tell you what, man. There's nothing that makes you more bitter to comedy than hosting comedy. I fucking hosted a show for 10 years and I watched every level of comedian come in and out. I fucking hated it. So anytime I heard nice voices, man, the time of your career that you're talking about too, I'm also a young comic.
You're only like a year and some older than me.
Yeah, so if you're 18 or 19, I'm actually only like 21 or 22.
Yeah, you're like 20, but you've always been like just like a 35-year-old.
That's right. And for a long time, I've been this older comic that people think, and it's like, man, through my 20s, everyone always thought I was in my 30s. And now that I'm 30 years old, people finally are like matching up. They're like, oh, you're like 28. I'm like, no, I'm actually 30 now. You were already so funny. But you stopped doing comedy for a little bit, didn't you?
I stopped doing comedy for I think 3 years.
Did I tell you to keep doing it while you were not doing it?
You would be like, "Where are you?" You would send me like a message at like 2 a.m. Like, "Where are you? I'm looking for you right now." He's like, "When you coming back?"
That's so funny.
And I would be like, "I'll come back eventually." But it was because the way that the comedy scene was at that time, it wasn't welcoming for somebody with a voice like me. And when I got nominated for Tim Sims, people got really upset.
No.
And were mad because I didn't come up in the classic way. So I wasn't going to open mics and doing all this stuff. I did that sometimes, but how I was getting booked most of the time was from being crazy on Facebook.
It's still pretty fun though.
From being crazy on Facebook, and people be like, "Oh, he seems funny online. Let's book him." And then that's how I got known. Is from like
your
being
Facebook
funny,
is good though.
being funny online, and then also being funny in person. So then people felt like I guess I had just been given this opportunity because I'm like ethnic and gay. So they would like say that when I would do shows, and I was also doing a lot of like drugs at the time.
Of course.
So I kind of like developed this like really bad anxiety around comedy. And I remember I would watch comedy and I would get so anxious that I had to like turn it off.
Of course, man.
So I couldn't do it I couldn't deal with everything anymore. So I just like stopped doing comedy and like went back to school for a little bit and like grew up a little bit.
Man, there's nothing wrong with growing up. I love that you did that, because I remember you leaving comedy for a bit, and I remember being on you that you should do it, because I always thought, man, this guy's so fucking funny. I can't believe that he stopped. And then you came back, and you came back when comedy, I swear, you're absolutely so fucking right. I never even thought of that, obviously, because I'm just a chill white dude smoking my weed. I don't even think about your perspective on a normal day. And you saying that comedy wasn't welcome, but when you came back, people were way more welcoming. Dude,
things changed a lot, which is why I came.
Crazy change.
Yeah.
It went from being run by what seemed like bigoted jerks a lot of the time. Like these little open mics were run by the weirdest of weird dudes to little open mics being run by like females and maybe you know ethnic or people of different color. I know for a long time we had like a couple of brown and black hosts that were hosting some of the most popular shows. And I want you to tell me, what was it like when your second wave, when you came into comedy that time?
It felt like I was more realized and more focused because I had grown up, and I went in with this mentality where I was just like, I'm gonna show all y'all bitches.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show all of you.
So sick.
And then within, I think that was like a year and a half I had returned. I got like Just for Laughs and like all this stuff. And
how did you get Just for Laughs? You showcased?
I showcased, but I also, during that time, I've always wanted to start a comedy show that was specifically featured exclusively queer comedians of color.
What's the name of your show?
It's The Ethnic Rainbow.
It is The Ethnic Rainbow.
And yeah, I started that show. And then I also did another show called The Ebony Tide, and it was like sold out like consecutively at Comedy Bar for like
it was fucking
the
wild.
whole month. It was like crazy.
Yeah.
And then The Ethnic Rainbow like started popping off, and like CBC covered it. I was in the Globe and Mail, and yeah, that like I felt.
What was that like?
It was nice. It was nice to finally feel like, okay, I'm getting the things that I've worked for, and people are not being like, you don't deserve this.
See, that makes me so rowdy because I already I don't even want to toot the horn of I knew that you were this funny, but it's crazy that you went out, you were a comic, took a break, came back, and the world had changed, and the world was more accepting, and we're literally talking about like a 5-year fucking period, and okay, so you're in the Globe and Mail, and I know that you're close with your grandma. Did you ever tell her about the stuff that was happening for you?
Like like what was happening
with comedy? Like, did you ever tell her like how big, not how big you were getting, but how big your voice, like how far it was reaching?
I haven't told my grandmother. My grandmother doesn't understand comedy,
so you can't even really tell
She doesn't
her.
have like the point of reference from it because she grew up in Trinidad. They didn't really have that.
They didn't have a stand-up comic that they knew.
People have been like, oh, do you ever go see him perform? And she's like, I don't like comedy. I like music.
Oh, that's so funny.
So I was like, okay, you do you.
Yeah. My parents and I never even had grandparents, and I imagine they'd be even worse than my own parents. But Ethnic Rainbow still was continuing on before all of this happened. Yeah,
it was continuing on. It just became a monthly show at Comedy Bar at this point, and JFL asked me to do it for JFL 42, and a bunch of other stuff was happening with it. Yeah.
You're so modest right now because you're just chill. But you gotta know that you don't gotta be modest about none of this shit because it's so fucking sick. You should carry the same sass that you carry with your own personal confidence and your accomplishments. Cause straight the fuck up, everybody loves you in the city. You almost never meet anybody. I've never met anybody who says anything bad about you. Maybe they think it. I don't fucking know. Like you said, people were carrying hate when you got nominated. Yeah. I'm one of the people who fucking nominated you. I don't remember that.
Yeah, you nominated me. You don't even remember, but I remember being told that you were nominated me.
I probably did because I've always been a big fan of yours.
Yeah.
And D wouldn't lie. D Palazzo is one of the nicest people. Man, that's so fucking funny to me. I wish I could see the list of people I voted for and who else I voted, because I don't even remember.
I think it was me and Nigel.
Oh, for sure I would have voted for you guys.
It was me and Nigel, I remember. And then I remember you, it was like the day before the show, we did your
Stoner
your
Sundays?
Stoner Sundays, and you were just like, he was like, this is gonna, you should be in this moment right now, because your life is gonna be different after this.
And it was, wasn't
and
it?
it was different, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
I okay, just for the record, I won the thing that you're talking about.
Yeah, I know you won. Yeah.
So just for someone listening, so you don't think I'm some sort of overconfident maniac. When I man, comedy is one of these things, man, that it is so in the fucking moment that you can retain that moment. If you go in, okay, man, if I'm doing a big show, I'll wake up in the morning ready for a big show. I'll fucking go shower and listen to my favorite songs. And I prepare to fucking take down the other comics on the show by being funnier than them. Okay. What's the biggest show of your life?
I'm trying to figure it out. Let's think. I'm trying to figure. Like big as in like what?
Internally. For you, a show that made you feel like, holy fuck, comedy is real. I'm fucking a comedian.
I feel like it was the day I did my Homegrown taping.
Oh,
because the day I did
sick.
my Homegrown taping was the same day I also opened for Julio Torres,
Oh,
who I also
wow.
really like. And I remember I like did so amazing at Julio's show, and it was like so amazing to like meet him.
Did he talk to you and
Yeah,
shit?
he was really nice. We like took because you know how they like pick you up in like the van from the hotel.
Oh my
so
god!
So like I like opened the van and I didn't think to see him there, and then he was like sitting there, and I was like, oh my god,
dude, okay. I'm gonna break the wall for us and the listener. What we're talking about is Just for Laughs, and when you're at Just for Laughs, it is a like summer camp for comedians, because all your heroes are there, and you're gonna bump into them, and they treat you when you're on the same level as them, because you get in the van just like they do. You're a comedian just like they are, and they like. Who did he just talk to you normally?
Yeah, he just talked to me like a normal person, and we had like a nice conversation.
I know, because they don't talk to you like a fan. They talk to you like you're a comic. Like, what'd you do today? Yeah, did you get a sandwich? And you're like, oh my god, I'm talking about. Like, I have my own weird memories of that. Like, I can talk about that shit all day. What was your favorite Just for Laughs moment?
I think it was probably like meeting Julio Torres and opening for Julio Torres.
I know, isn't those good? But those moments are the moments that make the festival. I swear to God, my favorite moment from Just for Laughs isn't Just for Laughs. It's getting in an elevator with JB Smooth, okay?
Uh-oh.
We got into an elevator with JB Smooth, and if you've never been around JB in real life, he's the loudest motherfucker you ever heard in your life. And it's him pressing a button in an elevator. I'm going to number 4. Anybody going to number 4 up here? And you're instantly like, you don't even know JB Smooth, and you're like, yo, yeah, I'm going to number 4. It's like, then buckle the fuck in, and everybody in the elevator is dying of laughter because
it's just insane. It's a very insane environment.
Crazy, dude. I love that. That's one of your moments that you got to open up a van door and one of your favorite comics that you like to listen to. Okay, so JFL. That was fun. Do you remember some of your Homegrown memories? Homegrown, by the way, anybody listening, is a quick breakdown of it. It is the mecca for every young comic. You have made it from Canada, young comic to you're on your way to pretty much being a pro. The day that you cracked through the Just for Laughs door, and you get to do, and yours was taped.
So it was a lot of things I remember, because originally it was like we're not going to do, because it was a competition when a lot of people did it. We were like the first year that it wasn't going to be a competition. Then I think it was like several weeks later, they were like, actually, guys, it's going to be a competition again. And everyone was like...
Yeah, but they pulled the carpet out of everybody, because everyone was real chill about it.
Yeah, and then everyone was like, oh my Lord. And then like a week later, they were like, actually, it's not going to be a competition again. And you're like, Jesus, where are you? Thank you.
Man, as if Just for Laughs isn't nervous enough. Now you got to go in there trying to beat your friends. I remember... In
a televised taping, it was like...
Dude, it's the worst. You're going to lose on national television. Lined up there
That's
with
always
your
my biggest fear, too.
So and of course, so nobody was announced the winner. You guys just had a great show.
Yeah, we just had a fun show.
Is your album cover from that night?
No, it's from some other show that I did.
Like, yeah, because you dressed real nice. I was like, man, is that from like a Just for Laughs taping? What'd you wear Just for Laughs? Did you wear something nice?
I wore something similar. I wore that jacket that I'm wearing in my album.
Yeah, it's a classic good performing jacket.
I wore that jacket and like pants that matched it.
That's pretty funny.
And a leather black hat.
My God. I thought about, Just for Laughs is one of those times that you think about your outfit for like days. I sat on. I fuck, man. There's so much shit.
I bought so many different outfits.
Of course.
I bought so many different
When
outfits.
the fuck is your life gonna be more important than when you're at a biggest comedy festival?
I couldn't decide on one, and then I was like, you know what? I'll stick to this jacket.
Did you guys get to do any like media stuff because you were part of Homegrown?
We did an interview with like for the actual like press for it.
That's really sick.
Like with like
that comes with the Just for
yeah
Laughs
or
thing,
whatever. Yeah, but that was about it, I think.
Man,
but I got like some opportunities out of it.
Of course,
and,
man,
yeah.
and it does change your career
Yeah,
because from then on,
it
you're
did.
a Just for Laughs comic.
It did honestly change my career. It like helped me get like.
What's your favorite thing about comedy?
I don't know. I think it's just I like that I can just like be myself.
Of course.
Yeah.
And nowadays, comics are less judged for being naturally themselves more than ever. I have a lot of twitches and I smoke a lot of weed for it, and people would always think that I was always like cracked out or something like that. And nowadays, nobody would ever even assume anything negative like that. They would just assume that I am suffering from some sort of mental twitch or some sort of illness. And I would rather them think that than think I'm on drugs. You did drugs. What drugs did you like?
I used to smoke a ton of weed. I used to smoke so much weed.
Yeah.
But weed is not good for a person with anxiety and like underlying mental health issues.
No, my wife struggles with it too.
Yeah,
she can't do
so
it.
I couldn't do it. I did
Of
way
course.
too much, and then I was also like drinking a lot of the time.
Dude, drinking is the worst, man.
But
do you
I
still
don't
drink
do.
sometimes?
I don't do. I do it occasionally, but I stopped in 2000, and I have a story. So I think it was 2014. I went to a party, and I got so drunk, so high. I don't know what I did, and one of the last things I remember was I was dancing with this like lady. And I started singing 1, 2, 3, 4 by Feist, and then she got like upset and like left, and I was like, okay, whatever.
Because you were singing a Feist song.
Yeah, and then my friend was like, you know, that was Feist.
No. What the fuck?
And I was like, oh my god! And then I blacked out,
dude,
and they found I was
best.
in full witch drag. I was dressed as a witch, and the police found me passed out on the sidewalk. In full drag, and then they like had to like carry me home, and I have no memory of it, but somehow my grandmother like carried me to my bedroom.
Dude, wow,
Yeah.
what a
and that's why I
road.
don't really drink anymore.
Who the fucking drink after that?
Yeah, I was just like, I embarrassed myself in front of Feist. My grandmother carried me to my bedroom, and I passed out on the sidewalk, and almost got hypothermia. I forgot about that part. Yeah.
How the fuck? Dude, that is the funniest twist I think anyone's ever said on this podcast. Yeah, so I'm at a party. We're listening to 1, 2, 3, 4 by Feist, you know, the song classic. And then this fucking lady leaves. It was fine.
Yeah, it was Feist.
Okay, you're fucked, man. You're fucked. That's the funniest shit ever. And you stopped drinking because of that?
I stopped drinking because of that, because I was just like, if this is what's happening to my life,
man,
I'm not going to do this. I love Whitney Houston. I want to end up like that.
What?
Yeah.
Man, if drinking brought me closer to the people whose songs were playing while I was fucking dancing, that would be unbelievable. Imagine that. Imagine anytime you got really drunk, you're like, yo, are we listening to Enrique Iglesias right now? Because that looked like Enrique in the corner. Enrique. Who was your favorite childhood musician artist? Because you grew up a black gay kid in the west end of Toronto. Who knows who the fuck you were as a kid?
I loved Madonna.
Did
and
you?
Madonna did all these problematic things that I wasn't aware of
Oh
because
my God.
I guess I was like very sheltered from
Yeah,
like
of
my
course,
black
of
culture as
course.
a child. Like I remember I would draw photos of me performing Like a Prayer at the talent show.
Wow, so funny.
And I had like this image of like burning crosses because I just thought they were like so cool and
Yeah,
so
of course.
fashion because they were in a Madonna music video. But I did not, and then I found out like years later it was like the KKK, and I was just
Dude,
like,
how fucking
Yeah.
Mom, I love burning crosses.
I was like, I want to burn some crosses for this talent show. Let's do it.
Brandon,
Yeah.
if being gay wasn't enough, you racist too.
Yeah, you're racist too. Yeah.
I can't. Okay, wait, I'm gonna roll a quick J. Okay, choose one. You don't have to smell them. If you want to smell them, you can. I got here zombie sugar cookies, pink arrow or purple arrow, moneymaker, and something. I can't remember the name. 4-star general. 4-star general.
Let's do or purple arrow.
Purple arrow.
I'm only gonna take a puff of it.
Yeah, take a puff.
I'm only gonna
get
take
comfy.
a puff.
Because I'll smoke this whole joint.
Puff.
I think I might have the best job in the world because I just get to get high with my funny ass guests. Okay. So you used to smoke weed?
I used to
What
smoke
age did
so
you start
much
smoking weed?
I never did drugs in high school or anything because like my mom wanted me to be like a rebellious kid.
Okay.
And so my idea of being a rebellious kid was doing everything right.
Wow, how hilarious.
Yeah. So that was me being rebellious. But I started smoking weed literally the summer I graduated from high school.
What a
That was
kid.
the first time I tried it.
Who was the friend who got you to try it?
My
Girl or a guy?
friend from No Frills, my friend Alex, she gave me a bong hit of White Widow, and I was high for like 2 days.
Man, that's so fucking funny. See, that's the kind of shit that actually happens when you first get high as a teenager. Like, not even as a teenager, just even in your early 20s. You do a bong hit or you smoke a joint and you're high for like 2 days.
You're high for 2 days.
You take a nap for one whole day, you eat for another. Okay.
And I remember I wanted to like get into weed, so I bought like the White Widow off of her. And I remember I hid it in a like empty Pepto-Bismol like pill bottle.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was like, oh, Nana, my stomach hurts. I need the Pepto-Bismol pill bottle. Do you know where it is? And she's like, I can't find it. I'll find it later. And then whatever, I left and I came back home. And she was like, I found your Pepto-Bismol bottle.
No way.
And I was just like, oh, yeah. And then she was just like, I found what was inside. And she was like, I told you to say no to drugs. Say no to drugs. And then she started crying.
Of course.
And then as she was crying, like she was like waving her hands. And my dog got like scared because she was so hysterical and like bit her on her boob. And she was like, ah! And then like we're like, what's happening? And then she like showed us, and we were like, oh my god, this is too much.
Oh my fucking Lord.
Yeah.
Dude, man, I love that shit, man. My mom got hysterical when I had to admit it because I'd been coming home high for weeks, and she didn't know. And I told her that I'd been swimming. I tell this story in my comedy, but it's the truth.
You've been swimming,
and I told her that I'd been swimming.
I used that because I heard that from you.
Yo, man, swimming is a real deal thing. It used to be a real thing, you know. My eyes were red from the chlorine, and my mom found out that it wasn't, and she cried and got hysterical too. She fell to the floor, and slapped the floor. like she could not believe what was going on. And I remember being high while this was happening, and I couldn't have been more chill. And my mom is on the floor in hysterics, and even to this day I can see her, and I'm just so high going, Mom, what are you doing? Get off the floor. And she's going, and I'm going, relax, man, it's fine, it's just weed.
I have a question. Did you go to JJP a lot?
Yeah, I went to JJP.
Oh my god, I love JJP. I miss JJP.
What is it now? It's
still JJP, but it's just I haven't gone there in a while because they built a rec center by my house.
JJP, the last time I went when I was like 19 or 20. I just gotten out of high school, and we went one more time in the summer just as like a little laugh. And there was nothing more trashy than the kids who grew up in the neighborhood who used to sit on the rocks. Because that doesn't change. Remember how, not rocks, but there was like levels. Do you remember?
Oh, in the concrete levels that are
levels?
like around.
That's right. Yeah. And there was like an alpha status. Unless you were just a normal adult who had gotten there early and was just up there. Any kid who got their towel on those little like pedestal things. Man, I went there when I was in my 20s, and it hadn't changed at all. All these trashy kids were like, I fucking hate trashy kids, by the way.
That pool it used to be nice, but I remember swimming there a couple of years ago, and you could not, I had goggles on, you could not see through the water. It was so disgusting.
The dream's over, man. Yeah. JJP's fucked. Yeah. City pools are actually kind of fucked up.
Yeah. When
you become an adult, you realize that it's like a 60-40 split of normal people and just straight up fucking maniacs who brought their... I used to swim every single day at JJP when I was like 21. Oh,
I would go every summer. I would walk from my house there, and I would swim laps for like an hour.
So good.
And then there was this crazy woman, and she punched me in the face while I was swimming.
Holy fuck! That's the craziest
and
shit.
she was known as like the puncher, and she would always punch people in the face if they got too close to her while she was swimming. And I was just like,
so you told the lifeguard, and they're like, yeah, that's just punching Patty. She's gonna punch
and they were
if
just
you
like,
get too close.
We can't do anything.
Wait, man, one of the funniest moments I have ever had at JJP. This is how immigrant in Toronto this pool is. We had a Portuguese dad one time making barbecue on the outside of the fence of the pool, and he was passing hot dogs and hamburgers to his kids, who were on the inside because you can't bring the barbecue into the public pool. So he was just outside, just like there's a little laneway beside JJP.
Yeah.
He was just right there making little hamburgers and bringing them in. And I always remember thinking, you would never in your life see white people do some shit like that. White people were so when you were growing up. And this is for real. This is me talking honestly too. The only gay kid that we had in our grade was also a black kid, and his name was Josh, and I loved him. He was one of my best friends growing up, and I always remember that.
Where's Josh now?
Josh is a pretty much adult emo kid who's like pretty like dark in his like kind of style and stuff, but he's still very openly masculine gay now. You know, he's really masculine gay, and I'm really happy about that because when he was a kid, he was a real frail kid, and when he got up, he's like really buff and like he's like a pretty hot black kid now. So, Josh though was one of my best friends when I was growing up. It had nothing to do with him being gay. Loved animals. I loved animals, and I actually hated him when we became like 13 because he was on the show Zaboomafoo. Do you remember Zaboomafoo with the Kraft brothers?
Zaboomafoo,
so he's one of the kids who runs in to play with Zaboomafoo in an episode, and he never told anybody in the school, and I seen it. And the day after I went, and I was like, "Yo, were you on fucking Zaboomafoo?" And he was like, "Yeah, I just didn't want anybody to know," and I fucking eternally hated him. But this is a stretch from one. Josh always had trouble having white boy friends. Like, did you ever have trouble growing up because you grew up in the west end of Toronto? Well, white kids. White boys, white girls, fine. Josh,
white girls were fine. I had the same thing.
What was that like, bro?
It was just so weird. Like I remember when I went. So I originally was like born and lived at Weston and Lawrence.
Heavy.
So I went to H.J. Alexander Community School, and then in grade 2, half of grade 2, I moved to Annette Street Public School, which is in like Annette. I think it's Annette and DuPont or something.
I know that school. Okay,
but it is like a culture shock because I went from being like around people that looked like me to this like very like white school, and everyone was so hateful and so mean. And I went there from grade 2 to grade 8, and I remember in my last like years, grade 7 and 8, I did not speak because I was like, I'm done with these people. These people are so horrible. Yeah. Another thing is I was put wrongfully into the learning disabled class.
No fucking way.
So people thought that I was mentally handicapped.
That's crazy.
And people would talk to me like horribly and all of this crazy shit. And yeah, whenever I see people treat like disabled people badly, I get like so upset because I'm just like, you don't know what that feels like to like feel like people think that you're like nothing because you're missing something or because you're not like them or something.
My God, I can't even imagine. But I know that that's what you went through because I grew up in the West End and I seen it firsthand because Josh was one of my good friends. That white girls always, even like ethnic girls would be friends with Josh, but white boys, man, that's a serious issue.
I went to that school from grade 2 to grade 8. I do not have a single friend from that school.
Of course not. Who the fuck would
any of those people?
I'm not even gonna give
you. They all went to Humberside.
I want to talk to you, and I want to keep you as sober as I can, because we're having a great conversation. So I'm gonna keep smoking this joint, and if you want to hit it, you let me know.
But Western was really when I came into my own.
Where is Western in Toronto?
Western's Tech is.
Oh yeah.
Is at it's at Is it not Clendon? No. 35 Evelyn Crescent. I still remember the address.
That's so funny.
And it's like in Hyde Park and Hyde Park. Right. It's Hyde Park, Runnymede.
That's right.
Yeah, it's right down the street from Bloor West Village.
Very ethnic and very cool.
It's a very cool school. It's a like a hood black high school in the middle of an affluent white area.
So that's exactly what it is. Holy fuck, that's so funny. I never even thought about that. That Bloor West Village vibe. Yeah. But the school wasn't like that.
Yeah, and people were like so scared of Western, and like I remember
Western Tech is tough.
I remember I would like I would go in the morning and you would see all of the white kids like come out of their houses. They would look at Western and then they would go down the street to Humberside.
So funny. Humberside, a bunch of fucking...
But it was so much fun. It was so much fun. I have so many stories. I remember girls getting beat down at the fields and we'd be like, that's what you get.
Yeah,
that's what you get.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Western's tough.
I loved it. I never got like beat up or anything. Nobody was like really homophobic to me.
By the time I got to high school, you're right. We had a really gay Asian kid who was openly gay, but like, okay, lots of gay kids in our high school, but he was openly gay, like super flamboyant. I swear to God, always wearing just the most, man, like he dressed like he was in a Christina Aguilera video, but he was like a background dancer.
I like that.
Very shiny
that.
clothes all
I
the
like
time.
that.
Okay, shiny is like
Yeah, I had really straight. I used to straighten my hair.
No, you didn't.
And I had like the emo, the like sceeny.
Oh
that was
my
like
God,
my look.
classic.
That was my look.
Dude,
I
you're
thought
an
I looked very
emotional teenager.
masculine. I thought I would look very masculine. I wore a weird H&M scarf.
How fucking funny is that?
Yeah.
I remember that, man.
Yeah.
You and I are so close in age that I probably would have been in like grade 10 or 11 when you were in grade 9. So was that, what year you born?
1992.
1992? Yeah. I'm in grade 11 when you're in grade 9. So we're that close.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I was 13 when I went to high school.
Holy
which was like,
shit.
Yeah.
What? That's like what? 2015?
That was 2005.
2005. Yeah. Oh my God, bro. Listen. So you go to Western. Western's sick.
Western is so much fun. I had all of these friends.
Tell me your
after
favorite
having,
high school memory, man.
Oh my God, there's so many. Okay, I'm trying to think of one. I guess it would be the time Quenisha beat up all her friends.
Did you just hear the name you just dropped? Quenisha,
Quenisha.
bro.
I
That's
miss
the most
Quenisha.
Western text.
So Quenisha was this very funny like black girl. She was about like 6 feet and she was like very built. She was a very strong
classic
girl.
high school
Yeah.
tough like.
And she had this little Middle Eastern boyfriend named Omar, and we used to just like it was just like the funny conversation of that, the funny combination of them.
Yeah.
Just like
of course.
because he would sit on her lap and they would like make out and it was just like really funny. And I remember he would like write these like emotional posts on her wall.
Did you
and be
just
like,
tell me that he would sit on her lap?
yeah, and they would
make out.
And they would make out.
That's the
they were
funniest...
they were kind of like unusual, but they were like
dude, that
so
is
funny.
the funniest imagery for some reason.
Yeah.
It was just so weird. I was like, wait, what?
And they would he would write like these posts on her wall and he'd be like, oh my God, Quenisha, the sweet baby Quenisha.
What do you
I love you so
like,
much.
Meet me in Theo
You
walls?
are so sweet, the baby Quenisha. You are the baby and so sweet like the Quenisha, the baby Quenisha. And that's what he would just write over and over and over
My
again.
baby Quenisha.
Baby
Oh my
Quenisha,
God.
I love you so much, baby Quenisha. You're so sweet and the baby. And anyways, one day she was in anime club, and there was like a section of furries that went to Western, like furries, and they would do stuff. So they were all in the anime club, and what happened is one day I can't remember what happened, but they kicked Quenisha out of the anime club, and she had just like a full breakdown. And she started beating up all her friends. She just started beating everybody up. And then when she tried to kick a person, but she did this like weird kick. And she was right next to them, but she did like this like weird kick like this.
No, go, man.
And like somehow missed him.
Of course.
Because she went like this and then like kind of like almost fell. And they had to call security because it was getting so badly.
No way.
So then there was Richard. I think it was Richard, and Richard was like this like 6'5", like 250-pound like buff black dude, and he was trying to like hold Quenisha back, and he could not hold Quenisha back. He could not hold Quenisha back. And he was like, stand down. And then he had to throw
The security
Quenisha.
guard is yelling at this high school student to stand down.
Because he couldn't control her and she was going out of control. And then he had to like throw her on the floor and get on top of her to calm her down. And me and my 3 friends are just watching this. And me and my friend are dying. And then my other friend Nika is just like, she was like, y'all can't be laughing at this. Because she was from Atlanta and that's how she talked.
She was from, you went to high school with somebody from Atlanta?
Yeah, that was my best friend. It was my friend, Max, who was like this, like he was also a gay black kid. Nika, who was like this like fun girl from Atlanta, and then my friend Jane, and she was like this like hood Vietnamese girl. Another funny story about her is when she ran away in grade 9 or something.
She ran away in grade 9?
She ran away in grade 9, and the police like were like questioning us and like, do you know where she is? Do you know her email? And one of our friends was just like, yes, I know her email. Her email is lilvietbitch@hotmail.com.
Was it actually though?
Yeah.
Dude, yes. If anybody is listening right now and you were born in the 90s and you grew up with internet, Little Viet Bitch is the fucking most perfect I ever heard of.
Yeah. I think that's another one. I have so many Western stories.
Dude, school was so fucked up. I went to Bishop Morocco too, which is kind of like a rough school.
Yeah, Bishop Morocco is like Western. There's crossover.
Like yeah. There was.
We all hung out together. Yeah,
it's kind of fucked up. When you said Western, I was like, oh my God, yeah, it's only down the road. And man, did you guys ever go to Hyde Park?
Sometimes.
Yeah,
sometimes.
so we used to get ripped in Hyde Park and just stare at animals all day.
Yeah.
And one time, our principal caught us getting high at lunchtime. She was going for a drive through Hyde Park, and we were all sitting there in the thing. And she drove by. Man, it was so funny. Imagine
It was on school property. What's she gonna do?
there is no scarier sound, I swear to God, than a car reversing quickly, because it
what?
goes like, and I swear to God, it like tops out instantly, like, and she hits the brakes, and we all get in trouble. Go back to school. Growing up in that area, what was it like at lunchtime? Because you grew up near Blue or West. Was there like crazy beefs? Was there a place to go and eat? What was your Blue or West fucking spot?
We would go to chapters.
Chapters?
We would go to the chapters.
You white fucks.
We would go to the chapters, and it was in the pizza.
Oh, okay.
So there was the chapters, and we would all read books there, and we would look
Classic.
at the sex books. That's all we would do.
Dude, that's so funny though.
That's all
Yeah,
we
yeah,
would
yeah.
do.
That's
Now it's,
classic teenage shit.
It was a theater, and they turned it into a chapters, and now it is a Shoppers Drug Mart.
Oh, of course it's a Shoppers Drug Mart. Anything that you loved as a kid is now a Shoppers Drug Mart.
Now a Shoppers Drug Mart. That was like the spot. There was like some parks around there that we would go to.
What did you do after high school?
What did I do after high school?
Yeah.
Oh, I went to Humber for comedy writing and performance.
Oh, now we're getting into the beef of this. So you go to Humber for why did you want to be a comedy writer?
I don't even know what. Like, I remember I saw Sarah Silverman. I thought Sarah Silverman was very funny, and I wanted to like do comedy, or I thought I wanted to be like an actor. And then I liked Mean Girls, and I found out Rachel McAdams went to York, not York Memo. She went to York University for acting. So I was going to go to York or something. And then I went and looked through a college book, and I saw that they had a comedy program. And then I saw like Deborah DiGiovanni went there, and she was on Video on Trial.
And she was hot at the time, huge.
Yeah, and she was on Video on Trial. So I was just like, oh my God, then I'll go to this school. This seems cool. Like, legit people are coming out of this, so I guess I'll go.
That's one of my favorite things that you could ever say right now.
Yeah.
Legit people are coming out of them. We've worked with all those legit people pretty much right now.
I honestly thought like at 18 or whatever, or 17, that I was just like, oh my God, I'll just do 2 years and then I'll be like on Saturday Night Live or something ridiculous.
Of course.
Just like, you
buddy, I started at 18 too. I was delusional.
I do not understand how much work you actually have to put in.
I told myself that by 25, if I wasn't living in New York doing comedy, that I wouldn't do it anymore. By 25, I had just gotten Just for Laughs for the first time, and I couldn't have been happier with where I was. These fake things that you put on yourself.
They're just like crazy. Like, I remember, I was like, I'm gonna go to after Humber, I'm gonna go to Groundlings in LA.
Groundlings,
and then I'm gonna be in not Second City, Saturday Night Live. But then my whole priorities changed when I went to Humber, and I was
realize
I like stand up.
Yeah, stand up is so much fun. People don't understand the idea of stand up until they do it. When you get on stage, and there's this light and this audience, and they start laughing at the shit you're saying and the stories. What's your favorite stand up story? Your favorite moment in stand-up. You can think back right now. Maybe we can dissect it a little bit too.
Let me think. Let me take a moment to think about.
Like, it could have been one of your first sold-out shows at Comedy Bar, or your first big laugh. Somebody meaningful in the audience.
I'm trying to think. There's so many. It's like hard to like pick.
What's your worst memory in comedy?
Oh, probably the Tim Sims performance.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I did so much crazy shit for that performance. That was like when I was doing so much crazy stuff. But for that performance, I ended up opening. I opened the show.
So you were first?
I first. And then all of the audience was people that have heard my jokes like so many times. And then I think my final joke was a song. So what I did was I went like God lights, and then like I changed the lights so it was like a single spotlight on me.
Nice.
And then I began to sing an acoustic version, acoustic gospel version of My Neck, My Back. And then I ripped off these like tearaway jeans.
What?
So with like literally short shorts. And then it was like a high pace like gospel version. And then whatever, I sung it, and then I jumped, spun in the air, and then jumped into the splits, and that was how I ended that performance.
That's pretty good.
And everybody was just like,
no way, dude.
and I was just like,
did you make it to the finals?
I made it to Cream of Comedy. That was like the
You made it to Cream of Comedy, and that was your final, and they didn't give you no love. Who the fuck won your year?
It was Nigel.
Oh fuck, tough year. Fuck, I voted for both you. Fuck, that's good. Man, Nigel beat me, for fuck's sakes. Nigel beat me at Homegrown.
That Homegrown.
Yeah, but you know what? Nigel got lucky. I'll go on record. I'll say it right now. I don't give a fuck. I love Nigel. He's one of my good friends. I'll tell him right now.
I love Nigel too.
Nigel's microphone got unplugged.
Uh-huh.
And when he plugged it back in, the first line that he said was, "For fuck's sakes, on the biggest night of my life, microphone gets unplugged." The whole place, people rolling in the aisles and shit. The director of Just for Laughs is having an orgasm in the back. Gilbert, whatever the fuck his name was.
That's fun.
Just for Laughs was cool. When did you find out? How did you find out?
I found out when I think I was on the subway going somewhere.
No way.
And I had like gotten like, you know how like
sometimes in between.
Yeah, you'll pass, and then I saw like I got a message. It was like missed call message from Zoe Rabnett, and then it was like, "Hi Brandon, I'm trying to like reach you. I couldn't reach you. Blah 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 blah." And then I like had to like go out.
Of course, get out of Zoe
get out of the
fucking
subway.
from Just for Laughs.
And yeah, she like called me and she was like, "Yeah, we'd like to offer you this. Would you be down to do this?"
Oh my fucking Lord!
And then, that was the first time.
I never get that call.
Yeah.
Do you have representation?
Yeah.
And she called you directly?
This was before I had formal representation.
Oh shit!
And it was like when I was in talks to get representation.
Oh shit!
So then that was.
Buddy, enjoy that call because you never like. It's not that you never get that call again. It's always gonna go through an agent, so you never get that call.
I know now.
Yeah. Fuck, you know, because every time I get that call, like my association with that is my agent Morgan. I love him the best because every fucking good call I've ever had is this fucker's voice being like, "Mike, what are you doing?" Like I'm just sitting around, Morgan. What are you doing? Listen, Just for Laughs. And instantly, as soon as I'm like, "Oh my god!" I know, Just for Laughs. Fuck, man. Do you?
I love my manager is Ethan Stern. We love Ethan Stern.
Ethan Stern, give him a shout out.
We love you, Ethan.
Is Ethan cool?
Ethan's cool as hell.
Did he come to you? He was like, "I want to represent you." Shit.
It was like through a project I was working on with somebody, and then it was like introduced to him, and then I saw him in LA.
Did he help you with your album or no?
And he helped me. He's been helping me a lot with the like getting press and like.
Oh man, it's hard to get press. Did you get some press there?
I've been getting a lot of press. I've been doing a lot of podcasts. Like I've been doing like almost 2 podcasts a day.
Everybody wants you. You're hot right now. That's actually why I asked you too, because I had messaged you the other day. I was like, "Do you smoke weed?" You're like, "I'm real." I'm like, "All right, we're gonna get you in. Then fuck it." I was gonna send you some of our weed, but I might as well just have you here. What's it feel like to be the hot act in the country right now?
Oh my god, stop!
Soak it in, you fuck.
I'm so shy.
You're so shy
and
that
I don't
know.
ever like to like put attention on myself.
Your fucking album thing got 100 plus shares or something crazy like that. Like, you should be happy.
We've sold like, because I'm again donating all of this money, and we've made like $2,000 so far.
Buddy, that's been, like, fucking unheard of.
And I was just like, oh my god, that's so amazing.
Do you know that if you had done that on iTunes, you would have reached #1 on iTunes?
I would have reached #1 on iTunes, but I was just like, I would much rather.
You can still do it.
They can stream it.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But I was just like, I really want to donate money to these causes. I feel like that's really important, especially it's Pride Month, and especially what's happening right now, and especially as the only Black gay man doing stand up in comedy in this country.
Openly, there must be one dude who's hiding it or something.
There probably is.
Yeah, He's hiding it. I seen his woman. No, I'm just joking.
I love Chelsea.
Chelsea's actually a sweetheart, and she'll knock me off.
I always try to steal Chelsea from him.
Yeah, because she's a funny white lady.
Like, Chelsea, you're mine.
Yeah, she's great, man.
Yeah.
Chelsea Larkin or something.
Yeah, Chelsea Larkin, that's
right?
my girl.
Yeah, she's G.
But yeah, it used to be the only queer people of color that were doing comedy in Canada were Martha Chavez and me.
Dude, how
and that was for years.
That?
That was for like at least 8 years. Maybe there was some we didn't know about, but there's
probably somebody we don't know about, but that doesn't count.
But like
the mainstream of Canadian comedy, and you're allowed to say that now.
Like I remember when I started comedy, I was just like gay Black men doing comedy, and there was nobody, because it's like in comedy, there's never been like a really big gay male comedian. There's never been like a gay male version of like Ellen or Rosie O'Donnell or something like that.
Dude, breaking down barriers, selling out stadiums.
There's never really been that. So when you add also someone who's Black into that equation, like when white people are also having a problem, I'm like,
I'm tripping out right now. I cannot believe that's how limited it was.
Yeah.
Right now, you just fucking said you and Martha Chavez.
We're the only ones.
What the dude? Martha gets every ethnic, gay fucking person of color.
Yeah.
POC's under fire. Is POC shit still?
I don't. It's like, it's a complex term because it groups all of us together, and there are there's like a hierarchy within people of color, like Asian people, Indian people. Their proximity to whiteness is seen as closer,
Of
so
course.
they have more privilege.
Anybody who denies
And there's
that is
also
lying.
anti-blackness in all of the other POC
That's
communities.
fucking crazy. See,
And
that's
indigenous.
That's a great
like,
conversation. Okay,
anti-indigenous
let me get into that with you for a second.
racism.
Because you are so well versed when it comes to this kind of stuff. I always see your face, buddy. You are fucking crazy in touch with Black history in Canada. Fuck, we should be talking about some more of this. Okay, let's focus. Because I'm the stoner, so I'll keep taking it back to neighborhood shit. But I should extract some really.
I learned stuff. That was because I went to that high school. If I did not go to that high school, I still feel like I would have hated my blackness.
Oh my God, you were talking about something so crazy. Was the black people in Halifax?
It was Africville, which is like where.
Africville.
So part of my family is from is descended from like black people in Nova Scotia.
That's wild.
So I think it was my other grandmother told me that about Africville, and Africville was a historic black settlement in Canada. And what happened was it was started by like freed slaves who like settled there and black loyalists. And what happened is the government essentially destroyed it. So what happened was they would take taxes from these people, but they would not provide them with services like electricity and paving roads. And they kept trying to like do stuff to like get them to leave. So they opened up a dump there. They opened up a fertilizer plant.
Just pushing
and
them
they
out.
just like slowly destroyed the whole area. I think the Halifax explosion also really damaged that area, and they refused to like give them anything or
That's
give them any.
fucking nuts.
So they didn't have any running water. They didn't have anything. So it was like I think they started in it was the 1800s. That was when it first settled, and then in the 1960s they started moving people out of Africville.
Bro, did you just say 1960s?
Yeah, and I think it was like 1965 is when the last people left, but they forcibly removed them. They didn't want to leave, and they were like, "Yo, we're gonna give you guys nice houses. Like you're gonna be fine." And then it found out that none of the houses were nice, or they may have been worse, and they moved them out of the city with garbage trucks. That's how they
just piled them into garbage.
They
trucks.
moved. They took all their stuff and put them in garbage trucks. They're like, this is all we have, and they removed them from the.
Man,
from
this
Africville.
is so
and then
fucking
they
wild.
demolished it. Yeah.
The fact that this happened in Canada in the 60s.
But there's so many people don't know that there's a historic black population in Canada.
Buddy, I had no fucking clue.
Yeah.
You posted that. I shared it.
Like there's Oro, which is like
Oromonte.
which is like an hour from Toronto, and it was the first. I think it's the first ever historic black settlement that was commissioned by the government, and it was for black loyalists that fought in the War of 1812. And they were given this land as a thank you or whatever, and the land ended up being like so bad
that they couldn't
really like farm or settle the land. But they were the first settlers, or first like I guess settlers of that area, excluding
Oromonte
the indigenous
is
people.
shit.
Yeah, and they had to leave because they're like, this land is bad garbage.
Yo, that's
probably why they gave them that land.
I'm gonna tell you straight up, Oromonte is on the wrong side of the mountain area there. So there's like the Niagara Escarpment. Yeah. So on one side is really green and lush because that's how mountains work, and on the other side is a dry, deserty.
And that's what they gave them. That's what they gave them. That's
dude,
why
Oromonte is shit.
I've been trying to find a lot of information about the descendants of it because there's not many things. Another thing that Canada does is actively erases its history of racism.
Dude, unbelievable. I'm going to tell you just quick, let me tap into this.
Yeah.
I had no idea how racist Canada was towards Indigenous people, literally until I was almost 18 years old. 18 years old, and I met an Indigenous girl, and at a fucking party, we were talking about government, and I was like, well, you don't like the current government? And she's like, oh my God, I come from like Native background, and you got to know that. And she started getting into this shit, and it was on that day that I got into Indigenous issues, and since then it's been something that I always try to at least speak out to white people. White people, most people have no fucking clue how fucked up our background is when it comes to.
I will say this: I feel like sometimes they try to focus on like the issues of black people and exclude indigenous people.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm always trying to be like, no, like we need.
Dude, as soon as you're telling that story about them destroying the the communities, you're like, yeah, they still do that to indigenous people.
Yeah, and I'm just like, we need to like make sure that they know because they're trying to like still out these people.
Man,
they're still trying to
you people don't even get it. You still, I still see on my Facebook, like people talking about Native people as if they're not equal, as if they don't deserve the same
I
rights.
used to work at, I used to be a security guard at Dollarama at Young and Charles.
Crazy.
And there was like some sort of, I think it was like a halfway house or some sort of facility that was specifically for Indigenous individuals who had some sort of substance abuse problem. And they would come in and they would, well, a bunch of people would come in and steal stuff, but people would always, they would be like, oh, you should follow the Native people, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, I'm not following them.
Man,
let them take whatever. We stole all this stuff from them. Let them
people.
Take it.
How the fuck you gonna tell a black dude to follow?
Yeah,
the
and I was like,
people?
I'm not. I used to let them. They could take whatever they want. I did not care.
You know what, man? Who the fuck gives shit?
Yeah,
we have destroyed and pillaged, man. We still don't give them the resources to educate their young. We still don't get like, man. All you need to do is educate them as much as we educate anybody else.
Yeah, but we don't even know about like the history of residential schools. Like there was this woman
they just started this year.
There was this woman that I met. Her name was Tony something, and she was like on MTV in the 80s, and she talked about like being an Indigenous person with HIV. And she told me her life story, and I was just like, that is the craziest thing I've ever heard. So she was taken from her family in Canada by the Catholic Church and was essentially sold to a family in America. And they did all this like crazy stuff to her, and she ended up she like ran away as a child, and all this other stuff happened to her. And then I think it was like she was arrested or something like that, and they didn't have any record of her immigrating there or anything like that, so they deported her back to Canada.
Wow.
And she I don't know how she is. I should message her. I haven't talked to her in a while.
What can you even talk to that person about?
Yeah, I'm just like,
hey.
Yeah, because people, like, I don't know, like, because I'm, again, Trinidadian, and then people don't realize that, like, black people aren't indigenous to the Caribbean.
That's right.
So, like, all of the Caribbean indigenous people were essentially wiped out first.
Wow.
So, but my grandmother tells me that she met her, like, her indigenous family. Like her Arawak family or whatever. And she told me they were all like super old and they had like this like long straight hair and I was just like, oh, so I'm just like, yeah, I really relate to like what is happening because I saw
ancestors. Holy shit.
I heard about what happened in Trinidad with the indigenous people.
Trinidad, explain to me what happens in Trinidad, because Trinidad is a proud black nation now. So what happens?
So I can't remember who approximately discovered it. I think it was Christopher Columbus, but he discovered it, thought they were Indian people. Yeah. Like he thought he was in India, and then essentially just like over time killed all of the Carib and Arawak people that were there. And then the slave trade happened, and then some of those people like
literally get taken into slave.
Yeah, they were used as slaves, and then also a lot of them died, but then a lot of them had babies with the people that were like coming in. So like
having
black
babies
people
really softens it up.
Yeah, so like
a lot of it is like really strong.
So like that's why the Caribbean is like very mixed. So there was like first it was like the indigenous people, then the black people came, then slavery was abolished, then they started bringing indentured servants, which is how the Chinese and Indian like population came into the Caribbean.
Shut up.
So that is how like my like heritage was like all of those things.
Man, isn't that wild? Isn't that humans are weird.
Yeah. But it's like all of my family is like super mixed. And whenever I tell people, I'm like, oh yeah, like blah, 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 blah. I know about this. I know about that. But like, you're trying to like take up all of this culture. Like you're trying to say that you're everything. And I'm like, literally my family is everything.
When you were growing up, did you have a lot of resources to learn about your background?
No, because I found that I remember my mom finding a book on Trinidad in the library. And it was like the only book that they had.
That's fucking Trinidad.
Crazy. And my grandparents didn't ever really like to talk about what happened. Like I think it was just really traumatic.
Were you the first gay sibling in the family?
I think I am. Yeah.
That's fucking wild. You had to break that barrier?
I guess so.
Was it cool?
They don't really like. We've never really talked about it. Like they just like know, and they're just like, okay, whatever.
It's just Brandon.
They're just like whatever. They don't care. I've never had to be like, oh.
You must have been gay for a long time in the sense that, like, you know, so you ever meet a kid and you're like, this kid's.
Oh no, I 100% was a gay kid. I mean by that? I was such a gay kid. I was always buying Barbies. I love Sailor Moon.
Dude, you're like, man, that's the classic. Like, man, Sailor Moon. I like Sailor Moon too, though, which is kind of fucked up. Yeah. Because I liked it because of Tuxedo Mask. I always thought he was so cool. He's so mysterious. To show up, save the day. What were your favorite cartoons growing up? I love that you said
Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z, Pokemon,
I love Dragon Ball Z.
Digimon.
Dude, so anime based.
There's other stuff too.
Did you like Beyblades? Is that what you just said?
I like Beyblades.
Did you ever get Beyblades? Did you ever
I
have
did.
some?
I did.
I love them too. I see them in
There's
stores and I want to buy them for my kids.
there were so many shows. Reboots.
Yo, Reboot. Is Reboot Canadian though?
Yeah, I think it is.
I think it is too.
It was like a YTV specific
Were
show.
you a YTV kid?
I was a YTV
or
kid.
a TVO kid?
I was a YTV kid, and then I became. I would look at TVO in the morning, then YTV in the like after school, and then I would watch like Teletoon like late at night.
Oh man, nothing better than Teletoon late at night. Undergrads and Tom Goes to the Mayor and all these weird shows. What was your favorite late night show? Do you remember?
There was this weird show, and it was like this guy in a wheelchair,
Oh,
and there was all this like
man.
nudity and like
Oh man, what's that
John
show?
Callahan had something like that. I remember watching that a lot.
And it's not handicaps, it's Stubbs. What the fuck is that, Stubbs? Wow, I know what you're talking about.
I know, yeah,
and his wife had the big tits.
yeah.
What the fuck, John?
I don't
Callahan's-
remember, but I used to watch that all the time.
Oh man, I know what you're talking about. Holy shit, man.
Daria, I used to love Daria.
Dude,
Daria was my show. That
Daria
was
is
another
so funny.
way how we became friends, because I remember you posting about Daria.
I love Daria.
And you were saying like, "Oh, I used to pretend I was Daria in gym class."
Dude.
And I used to do the same thing.
The hand?
And just be like, every time during volleyball.
You're so fucking funny. You're one of my favorite people. We had such a good chat today. I didn't even want to get you high because I didn't want to slow down your pace. I'm sorry that this lasted so long.
I'm happy. I always love to talk to you.
When I'm really high,
we used to always run into each other, and then I quit comedy, and then I came back, and I've seen you twice, and it's like I know you have like a life now. You're a dad, so I understand. But I genuinely do miss seeing you all the time.
Oh man,
And
I'm not a scener anymore.
I know you're not. You don't do that.
And
stuff
now
anymore.
you're like one of the OG sceners now.
Yeah.
And now I'm not a scener, and you're like, we never meet
And I'm
anymore.
like, can you just come back? Like, remember when I saw you at Comedy Bar that
Oh my
that
God.
day? And then I was like, I was going to say bye to you. And then you were like, I don't want to be here. And then you like escaped after your set. And I was so sad that I didn't get to say bye to you.
I am an after, even if I kill, I'm out.
You're very reclusive like me.
Somebody told me once that I'm an introverted extrovert. So when I'm like at a party, I'm like the life of the party. But as soon as the party dies, I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to sit
I'm
there.
done. I was just like, I miss you. I miss my boy.
Yo, man, you're so nice, Brandon. I love you as a person. I love you as an artist. I cannot thank you enough. I can't believe all the nice things you said about me at the beginning. I didn't know that I voted for you back in the day. That sounds like 100% something I would have done.
That's why I used to think of you as my as Lil Wayne.
Dude,
and I was Nicki Minaj.
And I'm just bringing you up internally. I'm like, I'm boosting you, bro.
Yeah, I was like, I'm Nicki Minaj. I'm Nicki Minaj. Yeah.
She gonna be the best.
Yeah, and I was just like, that's me.
I do remember. I 100% remember the box show with British Teeth. I don't remember bringing you up, but I remember always having enthusiasm for your comedy. I'm really happy that you remember all that shit.
Who is this guy? Yeah,
dude, that makes me really happy.
I love it.
Okay, because I love comedy. I am really
Thank
happy.
you. I love you, Mike.
I'm really happy you did my show. Okay, this has gone full circle now because now I'm just an old fart comic and you're like this rising star, and I'm happy that we get to share.
Thank you.
You're the best. Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having
We're gonna
me.
start rolling the credits, so we'll just do background talking like this, like and now we're gonna just roll credits. Oh man! And now there's like music playing, and we want to thank all of our sponsors. Yeah. You grab some water, you drink it. Someone's gonna come in and dab the sweat off of our forehead.
This is my good side.
You have a good side? I don't have. I just.
1, 2, 3. Couple more. 1, 2, 3.